Wait, can you repeat the say it in pairs thing? I was like listening and I understood it, and now I don't
Yeah,
really
I'll say
understand
it
it
again.
anymore.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sine prime, cosine. Cosine prime, negative sine. Tangent prime, secant square. Secant prime, secant tan. Cotangent prime, negative cosecant square. Cosecant prime, negative cosecant cotangent.
Like so you want us to say it with the corresponding ones, right?
Corresponding one. What do you mean?
Like cotangent is always with cosecant. Cosecant's always with cotangent.
You have to say out the formula. Basically, you just need to say out everything on the top again.
Oh, okay. I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Jeffy, let's start with you.
Okay. Sine prime, cosine, cosine prime, negative sine, tangent prime, cosecant squared.
No.
Wait. What was it again?
Don't panic. You can do
Tangent
it.
prime, secant squared.
Yep.
And then secant prime, secant tangent.
Yep.
And then cotangent prime is cosecant squared and
No.
cosecant.
Negative. Don't forget.
Oh, right. Because, okay. Cotangent prime is negative cosecant squared.
Yep.
And cosecant prime is negative cosecant cotangent.
Perfect. Okay, Jesse, your turn.
All right. Sine. Wait, do I say sine prime
Yep.
cosine?
Yep.
And then cosine prime sine?
Cosine
Negative sine?
Yep.
And then what is it? Tangent prime secant squared
Mm-hmm.
and secant squared
Oh.
secant tan.
Back up.
Back up. Beep, 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 beep. Right.
You gotta
Whoa.
say prime. You said square. Okay. Can you?
Oh, secant prime, secant tan.
Okay. Start
My
with 10.
bad. Sorry. I thought you were like driving a car right now and teaching us at the same time. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay. Can you? Can you?
Yeah. Cosecant prime,
Hold on,
cosecant.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Start with tangent again.
Oh, my bad. Tangent prime, secant squared, secant prime, secant tan, and then what's the other one called? Oh, cotangent prime cosecant squared.
Yeah.
No, negative cosecant squared,
Okay.
and then cosecant prime negative cosecant cotangent.
Okay. Very good. Carrie,
Thank you.
your turn.
Okay, sine prime, cosine, and cosine prime, negative sine, tangent prime, secant squared, secant prime, secant tangent, cosecant prime,
Cotangent prime.
cotangent prime, cosecant squared,
All the code needs what?
negative cosecant squared,
Mm-hmm.
negative, cosecant prime is negative cosecant tangent.
Cosecant. Can you say one more time?
Cosecant cotangent.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Joan, your turn.
Sine prime cosine, cosine prime sine, tangent prime secant squared, secant prime secant cotangent.
No.
Oh, secant tangent. Sorry. Cotangent prime negative cosecant squared, and cosecant prime negative cosecant cotangent.
Okay. Very good. Emily, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Let's try.
Sine prime is cosine, and then cosine prime is negative sine. Tangent prime is secant squared, and secant prime is tangent secant. Yes.
Okay.
And then cotangent prime is negative negative cosecant squared, and then cosecant prime is negative cosecant cotangent.
Yep. Good.
Okay.
Who's next? Leon next. Which one? Come on.
I can try.
Okay, try. You gotta speak closer, okay?
Sine prime, cosine, and then cosine prime, negative sine, tangent prime, squared,
Can yeah.
tangent prime, secant squared,
Mm-hmm.
secant prime, secant tangent,
Yep.
sec cotangent prime, negative cosecant squared,
Yep.
cosecant prime, negative cosecant cotangent.
Yes. Okay. Leon.
Sine prime is cosine. Cosine prime is negative sine. Tan prime is secant squared. Cosecant is
Not yet.
negative.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. You
Wait,
gotta go
what?
backwards, and then secant prime.
Oh, secant prime is wait, what do you mean go backwards?
You have the tangent prime,
Oh, yeah, tangent prime is secant squared.
and then secant prime.
Secant prime is secant tan,
Okay.
and then cotan prime is negative cosecant squared,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one cosecant squared is
No.
wait,
Cosecant
what?
prime. Cosecant prime.
Oh, cosecant sine.
No, cosecant prime.
But cosecant prime is negative cosecant cotan.
Yeah. Okay. Can you say the cotangent pair one more time? Cotangent prime.
Cotangent prime is negative cosecant squared,
Mm-hmm.
and cosecant squared
No.
is
Same mistake. Cosecant prime.
cosecant prime
Mm-hmm.
is negative cosecant cotan.
Yeah. Okay. So just make sure you look at the last pair. Okay. That one you are. Yeah. Okay. You keep saying the cosecant square. Okay, let's apply the rules now. Okay, so this is going to combine with quotient rule, product rule, chain rule, implicit. Okay, and then we are just working with trigonometry. So that's why we don't have a lot of time to go back, look at the formula every question, right? You got to have it in your head. So you just grab it when you need it. Okay, that's how you get it done fast. So let's try number one, right? Question A. This one, you have a function times a function. So right away, you should see this is a product. So I'll let you try this. Please raise your hand when you finish. Product rule. And you can continue work on, right? We're gonna work on the whole sheet here, okay? Everything on this page. Let's start by doing question A, okay? If you finish, please raise your hand. Sometimes we need to simplify. Simplify as far as you can. Please raise your hand if you have question A. We'll check the first line, okay? After product rule, please tell me what it looks like. Okay, Jeffy, what's your product rule?
1 times cosecant x plus negative cosecant x cotangent x times x.
Okay. And then from here, to simplify, most common things to do is to factor, right? If possible, or combine like terms, right? Simplify the signs. So over here, what we can do is to take out cosecant, right? They both have cosecant. And then there's a negative, we can simplify that as well, okay? So we're gonna factor the cosecant out. The leftover, okay, what's left inside the after factor? What's inside there? Joan, can you tell us?
Wait, I think, wait, just kidding. I don't know if I wrote it wrong. Let me just double check my work.
Yep. Let me know.
Wait, sorry, what was the question?
The question is, if I factor the cosecant, they both have cosecant, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's left?
It would be, wait, yeah, let me just write this down.
Yeah.
One minus x cotangent x.
Yeah, very good. Anyone has question about this? This is as far as you need to simplify, okay? Make it shorter. So usually in the answer key, right? If later when you do homework, you can see they always try to simplify as much as you can. Okay, let's move on to B now. Anyone has question about A?
Wait, how did the 1 minus x cotangent x come from?
It came from, you got the first line, did you, Leon?
Yeah.
Okay, what we did is we take out GCF, common factor. Right? Do you see they both have GCF, like cosecant x?
Oh, okay.
Right? So if you
Yeah.
take it out, the leftover is what's in the brackets.
Okay, I see.
Yep. Okay, let's look at B. So when you see this, please do not just prime the top, prime the bottom, and move on, okay? You need to do something more appropriate. So if you, same thing, if you finished, please raise your hand. So here we have how many questions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need to do like 3 minutes a question. Okay, we can do it. And try not to look at the hexagon, okay, or the formula sheet. You gotta train your brain, okay? Remember the formula. These formulas are not given on the AP exam, okay? They expect you to remember it. So at the beginning, it might take a bit longer, right? Just close your eyes, imagine the hexagon, and then figure it out, okay? Second time will be faster. All right, let's look at the first line, numerator. After quotient rule, any volunteer for numerator?
Sure. Oh, never mind.
Okay,
I
Jeffy?
got it.
Jeffy?
Sure. Secant x tangent x times 1 plus tangent x,
Okay,
and then minus secant x times secant square x.
okay, thank you. Secant x times tangent square, secant square. And then over g squared, so it'll be 1 plus tangent x squared. Does anyone has question about this line? Please let me know. Okay, so after this, it's going to be simplifying, right? I'll continue simplifying. You guys can raise your hand if you are already done. So what I'm going to do is to factor as well, right? Because I see there's a, wait, we can, what can we do? We can expand, right? Let's expand, see what happens. And then last one is the secant cube. And then what? Anyone simplify to the end?
Yeah.
What do you guys have? What's the final look?
It's secant x tan x over 1 plus tan x.
Like that? That's it?
Wait, hold on. That is not hold on. I don't know why we expanded in the second row.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm just saying maybe we'll expand.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then minus secant cube over 1 plus 10x squared. Or like if you want to keep everything in one row, I guess the second row is fine.
Oh, oh no, I'm asking your final answer.
Oh yeah, then it's minus secant cube x over 1 plus 10x squared.
Secant x over 1 minus tangent x.
Hold on. Secant cube x over 1 plus 10x.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so they have the same denominator, huh? So you can,
Yeah.
okay, so you can write it as one same line then. Okay. Let me
Or
read.
no.
Huh?
It's 1 minus. Oh, sorry. Did I? Okay, sorry. I don't think I said it properly. No, that's fine. Oh, okay.
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 I'll write it down. Secant x.
10x, and then minus secant cube x over 1 plus 10x squared.
Oh.
So all of that squared.
Okay. Also,
Yeah.
it's not okay. It still looks very complicated, eh? Very long. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can get shorter than that. Okay. So I'm going to. What can we do here? We can factor the secant, right? Because every term has the secant. So let's take out the secant x. You get tangent x plus tangent square x minus secant square x all over 1 plus tangent x squared. Any questions so far about this? So what I did before, right, was I expand the brackets, right, to see if anything can combine. But then I found out there's nothing to combine, so I factor the secant because each of them has a secant. So I left with that. Now this part needs you to stop and look, right? And then see, like it's testing if you are familiar with your identities, right? Because it's trigonometry. You learn a lot of identities, which I keep pushing you to remember, right? And the hexagon, which is very important. Do you see any hexagon square identity we can apply here?
Tangent squared x minus secant squared x equals to 1.
Equals to 1? Is it? Which identity is that?
Tan squared x plus 1 equals to secant squared x.
So if it's tangent square minus...
Oh, my bad, -1.
Yes, okay. So over here, the green part will become -1. Right? The green part will become a -1 because of the square identity over 1 plus tangent square. I think that's shorter, right? Better here. Any question? Or any mistake I made? Okay, so I think that's as far as you need to go, okay? Because even if we expand the bottom, it doesn't cancel out anything, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to next one. So remember for homework, right, you got to keep thinking, is there any identity we can use to simplify more? Okay, next question. This one to begin, right? When you see the exponent, you need to begin like, if you are used to it, you don't need to rewrite it, okay? But because it's first time, okay, I will suggest you to rewrite this as sine x to the 4. So that way you can recognize this is a chain rule. All right, so please do this one. When you finish, please raise your hand, okay? You got to use chain rule. Chain rule, you start by priming the outside, right? Use your finger, cover the inside. Prime the outside, prime the inside. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, right? This one is not difficult. Prime the outside. Outside is the 4, right? So prime the outside. Inside stays. Times prime the inside. Sine prime cosine. And you're done, okay? There's nothing to simplify here. But of course, you can rewrite it so it doesn't need the brackets. Okay, you can put a cube on top of the sine, okay? With the brackets, then you can see the outside, inside, right? So this is your final point. Okay, so please try question D and raise your hand if you finished. This one again, we have a chain rule, right? Outside is 5. You could rewrite it as cosine. And then the whole thing to the 5, right? So that way you can see outside, inside. Please raise your hand if you're done. Okay, Leon, do you want to give it a try here?
I don't know it's right though.
It's okay, I'll help you.
Okay, so I have my final answer 5 bracket inside. So cosine bracket x squared plus 4. Another bracket 2 power 4.
Good, so far good. And then?
Bracket
Mm-hmm.
negative sine
Mm-hmm.
bracket x squared plus 4.
Yeah.
Bracket, and
Yep.
then 2x.
Yep, perfect. Okay, you got this. And then you could simplify a little bit, right? All the numbers you can multiply together, right? 5 and negative and 2, so that'll give you negative 10. And then the fourth exponent, you can put it on the cosine, right? So you can write less brackets, okay? And then you just copy the rest. And then 2, x. That's it, okay? So you can leave it like that. Okay, last question we're gonna try, all right? So question F is like a product rule, right? And then there's a chain rule involved, right? So it's mix of everything. But I want you to try G now. G is called the what? What kind of differentiation? Anyone?
What?
For question G, what do we need to do?
Like you gotta use product rule and you gotta use some.
What else? What else? What else is the most important thing that you noticed?
There's an equals 5.
Implicit.
Equal sign, yeah, what else?
It's implicit.
Implicit, okay? That should be the thing you recognize.
Oh shoot, I didn't do it implicit though.
You got to do it implicit.
Okay, I'll redo it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. You could isolate y, right? But then sometimes it's difficult to isolate y. So this one, if you see a y mixed inside, this one is impossible to isolate y. Because the y is stuck inside cotangent, okay? You cannot do it by isolate y. So you have to do implicit. So raise your hand if you finish this one. Whenever you see x and y, they all mix together, okay? Right away, your instinct is implicit. And remember, y is a function. So sometimes you need chain rule.
Wait, do we still have to use like the product rule and stuff?
If there's a product, yeah,
Oh, okay, thank you.
yeah. You will start by priming both sides, right? So if the thing you are priming is a product, then you need product rule.
Jason,
Yep.
for the y, it's its own function, right?
Yeah, y is some function.
So I can't treat it like x, where I can just use the trig functions, right?
Well, it
I
says,
can't like I can't use it like I would with x.
yeah, when you prime the y, it won't become 1, right?
Okay.
It will stay as y prime.
Okay.
Yeah. Last one, you can do it. Let's check the first line, okay? Probably some of you are not sure what the first line looks like. Okay, and then you're afraid to take the next step. So when we prime the left side, you see an adding, right? So you need to prime the first and then prime the second term, right? But then the first one has a product. So that's where the product rule comes in, right? So f prime g plus f g prime. G prime is prime the cotangent, right? Cotangent prime is negative cosecant squared, right? But then there is a function inside cotangent, so you got to use chain rule. So times y prime. Okay, so that's the red part. Okay, the red part prime is this. The green part also has two functions, so that's another product rule. So Carrie, can I check with you? What's your green part prime?
I just messed up the first part, so I need to check my second part.
Okay, you can check your second part then. Okay, Emily, how about you? Do you have the green part?
Yes,
Okay.
I think it's y prime times tan x plus y times secant squared.
Yeah. Secant square x. Yeah. So the second part is easier because the y is not inside a function, right? The y is outside, so you don't need a chain rule for the green part. And then finally, the right side is equal to 0, right? Because it's constant. Now, all we need to do next is to isolate y prime, right? Our goal is try to get y prime. The terms that has y prime is the middle two terms. Everything else will go to the right side. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite it. Negative x cosecant square y prime. They both They both have y prime, so I'm gonna factor it out. And then plus tangent x. Okay, what should be on the right side then? Joan?
I put the negative cotangent y minus y secant squared x.
Yes. Okay, so finally you just divide it over and then that will be your answer. Okay, minus y secant square over negative x cosecant square y plus tangent x. And I don't see anything you could simplify. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so that will be your final answer. All right, so if you still have questions about anything here, okay, you can stay after class. I will try my best to answer you. Otherwise, wait for your homework. Okay, see you
Thank
next.
you. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Jason. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.